chance against ONIC prior. And this time it was an ONIC match.
Fans need it. I think they brought the draft here, though, Leo, to make that happen. I like what they brought to the table just because, again, there's some burst, there's some crowd control, and even the Marcel. I think this all pairs up really well against what ONIC brought to Game 3.
Not just that, the fact that they've basically over 3 games changed their identity. They let go of the glue, they let go of the Esmeralda. They're no longer living in the we will fight and die by this kind of rotation. There's a lot of re-engage here, especially to answer ONIC's own re-engage, especially with that Matilda in the hands of Keyboy. Early start here, a little bit of footsies between the mid duos from both sides, and then we eventually just return back to the roamers protecting their junglers from getting their early buffs.
Taking a look at the emblems here, too. It's a little scary, as you mentioned, Keyboy, on this Matilda. Not only the mobility, but that focusing mark, the emblem there to go ahead and help. I mean, we already know the Eudora for Sans, like the burst potential there. Just yesterday, we saw Sunset Lover play it pretty much 5 games in a row. And, you pair it up with this, even the emblem interaction, there's a good amount of burst that comes through to almost solidify yourself a kill. So then you get the numbers advantage, and you can work around that, plus mobility. And I think that's what makes the Barretts even scarier here for Lutpi, just because, again, you already cover a lot of grounds with the Flicker, but then now you have a Matilda. Like, that's great. But over on the flip side, with Falcons, I kind of forget about Sora too. I have to be on the same wavelength here with Renmar. You kind of forget about him. But just as we saw in the hands of Kid Bomba yesterday, you're reminded why he can be so deadly, especially when teams are kind of clumped up together.
And ONIC knows best exactly what a good Sora can do. Kyle backing off. They see that there's 3 members of ONIC pushing forth. Down bottom, though, who'd have thought that by bringing a pair of boxing gloves to a gunfight, you could get away with a lot. Kelra's bullying Marco. I doubt that Marco can even double wave as soon as this turtle dance or fight fully breaks out.
Yeah, right now, ONIC's got control of it. We'll see if Falcons is in a position to fight. Kyle's going to be spotted out here, though, by Keyboy. Can they go in?
That's a Shifting Skies started up by Flap, but to no avail as ONIC secures the turtle. Down goes Flap. That Feather Airstrike may be a league too far out of the fight as ONIC barrels forward 1,000 gold up.
Good enough burst, it seemed like, to be the case, but what happened there with ONIC was just able to go ahead and zone out Falcons from the fight. And part of that was just Lutpi. I mean, on the Barretts alone, he just kind of separated the rest of Falcons from that, and they were able to go ahead and capitalize a kill on Flap when he tried to initiate things. And, honestly, that kind of choreography for these objective fights is kind of what I expect, unless somehow Falcons can figure out a different way to go through that. But that's what makes it really difficult. Again, playing around the potential to surprise them with having this Guinevere, with having Ogwyn on the Marcel. Now, the Golden Hour could help make that happen. Could slow down or kind of make things weird, the rhythm weird for ONIC's team fighting, but that first one was not it for Falcons.
To be fair, Ogwyn wasn't ready quite yet, and that means 3 out of the 4 possible ults that were laid down to help disrupt ONIC's form wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Or they were lacking one major resource. So going into turtle number 2, spawning in the lower quarter, out in about 30 seconds and change, should be a different story. But again, that is looking at ONIC. They still have all of their resources. That does walk into the wall, plus the Feather Airstrike, but it's Kyle who falls! And Lutpi walks away with it. Flap goes down too by Kyrie's blade. ONIC showing no quarter, as even Haji might fall, does not have the wings by wings! Kyrie, bloodthirsty, finds another.
Even before that Kyrie play, give it up to Lutpi, man, to be able to go ahead and respond that fast. Again, he saw that Kyle came through. Daytona's welcomed him, flickered defensively to get him closer to the team fight. As we look at the replay, this is what I was talking about. Boom, right there, sets things up. Sans also coming through to make sure that he got that stun off in time to make sure Lutpi survived. And then, of course, Kyrie cleaning things up under a tier 2 this early on. Man, it's not looking good in Game 3.
Turtle number 2 is looking like a non-starter once more. Lutpi, Detna's welcome. Good amount of nothing he's chomped down, but that's just but a consolation prize for Falcons. They are in no shape to contest.
Biggest lead we've seen so far throughout these 3 games. ONIC's going to go ahead and stall it out a little bit so that Kyrie can go ahead and grab his buff. Again, already sitting at 3-0. this is the power spike already for Harara. It's going to be really difficult to play against, and that's why even your frontliners for Falcons are having such a hard time here, because even if they put themselves in this, I mean, look at that. You either get stunned, you get chomped. Oh, they are going to slow this down a little bit, but, I mean, you buy an extra second or two with the golden hour, and Turtle secured for ONIC.
They're delaying the inevitable. ONIC knows that they were going to get the turtle anyways, but I don't know if they saw that Marco was going to work the opposite lane. So that's at least a turret on the board for Falcons. They'll help keep this lead down to a palpable 3K, but Kelra will make quick work of that turret on the other side as well. So I'd say it's still just the free turtle that ONIC are riding on that puts him up at about 4,000 gold. They find one!
Oh!
And Kaku saving himself, Keyboy with a circling eagle. ONIC refused to give anything over to Team Falcons.
Falcons was so close to at least getting one on the board, and then Keyboy is able to survive, man. That Purify, even if they popped it, he still had the shields to go ahead and keep him alive. Really good usage there. Now they're knocking on this tier 1. Oh, Kelra.
Better airstrike. Kelra coming in from the flank. Stop. Flickered in. Hadouken. Might take a Haji, but Haji does get the fly off even with the flicker from Lutpi, and the punish from Falcons is real. Ogwin punches him down. Golden hour will not save him from Sans though, as it turns into a 1-for-1.
All right, the 1-for-1 trade, at least Falcons is on the board, but man, again, you're seeing it. ONIC playing around the lead that they have, and one of the difficult things here as you see these fights break out is just how kind of, hold on, Flap, whoa, burns a flicker. Okay, Sans is gonna be okay. So at least a battle spell expended. But again, it's weaving into these fights. The thing that ONIC's lineup does so well, especially with Kelra or Kairi, is how much they can maneuver around these team fights or around these...
Whoa, 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 whoa! Was that a circling eagle leading up to Lutpi underneath tier 1, getting hit with a Requiem, and they get another! Keyboy falls, the punish from Falcons, getting 2 kills on Marco.
Yeah, did they just... guiding wind into their death? I mean, ONIC tried to make it seemed like he wanted to make a play, and then they got punched in the face.
Yes, the only reason why it seems so unbelievable is it happened as we were swinging the camera over, and then it happened. So turtle number 3 might actually be Falcons' way to redemption. And it looks like ONIC are not going to contest, so they accept the folly of their fumble. Falcons on the board when it comes to neutrals.
Yeah, that's when you say, that's my bad, that's my bad, right? But
MB, go again.
MB, go again. Falcons able to get the last turtle. They still have some ground to cover, though. They're down a bit, a few thousand gold up to this point, but they are starting to farm up, and a big part of that is going over to Super Marco.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, wings by wings out. Marco, can we take a look at the items to see where Super Marco is? Again, okay, so he's got his 2 items. He's working on his 3rd. That golden staff is what he needs to get that Trinity locked in for this Claude. So he's done a really good job, despite how things have kind of fallen apart for the early game for Falcons. Your gold laner for Falcons is really what you're leaning towards. Obviously, Haji, too, only having the glowing 1. You can already see when he drops down a Feathered Airstrike, it's got some damage. So Falcons is waiting.
A little bit of a sting there. And he's down a full 1,000 gold up from Sans. So Falcons have to play this very precariously. A minute until Lord spawns lower quarter. Fortunately, the long lane is in control of Falcons, so that's what Marco's been working on. Shifting skies, but he gets answered by that as well. The Feathered Airstrike 2, golden hour, compromising the rest of them. Requiem on a Suns, and Falcons get a kill. Now into the back line, circling eagle, knocking up Kyle. Kyle's not long for this world as Kyrie scores. Killra knocks out Haji. The blazing the wet fade away by Marco, pushing them back, but they're not done. Ogwin runs through, recalls back, fight's over.
Okay, fight's over. ONIC gets the upper hand in that one. Sans, unfortunately, had to deal with the spatial migration coming through from Kyle. Oh, Kelra with a couple punches. Checking Ogwin here. They're going to take down the tier 1 in mid. So ONIC reestablishing that lead that they had earlier on. But Falcons, they're showing some fight here. They're showing some promise. They've just got to find the upper hand. Again, this Daytona's welcome, locking down Flap. Look at Kyle, he finds Sans. That's great, but then this fight kind of gets split up, and they don't really have the room to work with here. Flap has to disengage from it. The blazing to it from Super Marco didn't get as much value as you'd hope for if you're Falcons. So it was just, again, having that upper hand in terms of itemization for ONIC, and now this Lord is up. So they've got control of it. Falcons here. Do they contest? Ogwin jumping forward to give some information. They will reset the Lord, though.
Flap holding this brush behind the Lord pit. He's going to get flushed out by Lutfi. Missile expert to throw him out there. And look at Kelra. Kelra is just doing God's work right now. The fact that he's threatening that long lane, all this while ONIC is also just threatening the dance, makes it so weird for Falcons. Like, what do they commit to? Sure, they have a BMI. Sure, they have the wings by wings, but those are massive resources they're going to need if they want to fight against ONIC, who's up by about 4,500 gold.
Oh, hold on.
That's welcome, throwing it over. Golden hour to delay the damage. Coming on a flap, and he goes for the shifting skies. Jumps through, and now in comes Kyle. Marco looking for the perfect blazing duet entry. And there's some wings by wings. The damage on Kyle is real despite the Requiem. Filler strike at point blank range. Kyrie finds the double, make it a triple. Marco with a defensive blazing duet, but he's the only survivor left in ONIC. Wanna clean up house. Kyrie in the base. Can Marco do it? No! Kyrie finds him! The Savage in the groups gets another, and I think we're close to calling it.
Oh, man. Ignore the lore. They've got waves pushing in here. They'll take what they want. It's Hunger Games right now. Look at the replay here by SDC. Again, this was a fight that was not in favor of Falcons from start to finish. And the team fighting here by ONIC, again, just able to kind of dissect the fight.
Lutfi denied the Savage. I counted 5, but that's why it didn't come up, because the 4th went to Lutfi, and then Marco got cleaned up.
Well, you know, you can still take the Maniac, right? I mean,
and then the Savage from earlier in the tournament. But regardless, Falcons find themselves in an so familiar spot in this series. ONIC knocking down on their bases, waves coming in from all directions. Down being almost double digits. Again, this is an 8,000 gold lead. Eminent.
Yeah, and they got a Lord come up to that top side. Big item pickups here for ONIC too at this point. 12 minutes in. BOD for Kyrie. Divine Glaive for Sans. You know, again, it's just you've got these items locked in that you needed, and you're ready to go ahead and knock down some of these base turrets. So, Daytona's welcome.
And it's canceled by a golden hour. In comes the rest of them. Down goes Flap. Ogun barely gets away. Pops that Purify to buy time after the top lane inhibitor crashes. So Falcons are just staunching the bleeding here. Feather Death Strike coming in from Haji, blasting away those waves. And they will save mid lane inhibitor. Top lane still in jeopardy. Bottom up next on the docket to defend. ONIC looking to control the amount of bodies that they put underneath
Kyrie's
that.
hitting the base.
And Kyrie's just looking to burst it down. Ogun looking for the punish. And Kyrie survives.
Okay, I guess Kyrie's like, you know what, if you guys are going to deal with the defense, I might as well just go ahead and hit the crystal a little bit here. So he does some damage to it, but they maintain 2 base turrets. It looks like ONIC wants to go again, though, because Lutfi's got a flicker and a Daytona's welcome set up. He doesn't have many stacks. He's going to throw out the rockets here.
Eats up Ogun. Answer with a Feathered Airstrike. That is a Shifting Skies lightning form by Flap. Lutfi put down 1/8 of his health. Kelra trying to do the same Kyrie was doing with the base, except on that lower inhibitor. Does not find it. Falcons still keeping their eyes on the prize. At least we can say that the Philippines' last representative is just on point, keeping it on lockdown when it comes to the defense.
They hold it on, man. They have to. Again, even staring down this lead, this deficit that Falcons is against, almost 10,000. You know, they've only got a couple turrets that are down on the map to work with. They're nearly down to the last base turrets here. 2 stand for Falcons, and honestly, all these team fights have just been ONIC throughout it. There's been a moment where you might be able to catch 1 or 2, but Falcons just doesn't have it just doesn't seem like they have the ability to win these team fights just yet, unless something goes really wrong here for ONIC. There's so much vision provided that ONIC can just kind of take into this, because you know, you have control across the jungle. Your Lord's coming up here in 15. I would be surprised if Falcons tries to contest it.
Realistically speaking, the best thing that Falcons can hope for is a pickoff off of ONIC, but wait. They do force Ogun here to back off. I think he held on to his Purify, so he is fine. I think ONIC are also looking for Falcons to slip up. They're looking for them to, you know, waste an ult here, waste a battle spell here, to confirm this Lord and to confirm the end. Detna's welcome answered by a Requiem here. Wings by wings back. So a couple of ults spent already, as well as the Feathered Airstrike.
Those are big ults that are expended by Falcons. I don't think you want to be anywhere near this Lord.
Whoa, big knockup on Lutfi once again. He answers with Dennis welcome. Golden Hour trying to save that one target. And there's the Shifting Skies pushing back and splitting up ONIC's attack. And they find Kelra, forced to back off. And now it's Lutfi up next. How has Falcons done this? He goes for the freeze, winner crowd, feathered airstrike, and a big knockup by Kyle. Kelra falls. Straight up for Flap. Sans goes down as well. 2 for 1, make it 3. Brrr, yeah, Marco chasing Kyrie. And the wind of nature saves bulletproof Marco now inside the base. Kyrie wants to end it. He sees the base exposed to a couple minions.
Oh, he picks up my mortality.
And now we go back to neutral. Ogwin looking to stop Kyrie from taking any more from Falcons. The ending tally 3 for 1, but the Lord is still inside Falcons base.
Okay, that was a fight. The Falcons ends up getting under their belt. They got to deal with this Lord. It's going to be cleared out. Good thing for Haji and Super Marco to be up there. Again, they're slowly but surely getting into a fighting position, but man, did that take some work. And also, some mistakes made by ONIC into that one. I mean, I guess they just, the Golden Hour threw them off. Even though the Feathered Airstrike came back off cooldown, that really helped Falcons. They got caught by Kyle's Spatial Migration, Requiem combo. So that'll keep ONIC in check.
Joseph, for the first time in about maybe 10 minutes,
yeah,
Kyle was able to taste the purple, and it was one he stole away from Kyrie. What's the most impressive out of this is the fact that no Purifies were spent by Falcons. So that means they were in the right spot at the right time for their positioning to matter and for them to split ONIC up like that. If this happens once more, if this is replicated some way, somehow by Falcons in this Lord pit spawning in the upper quarter about a minute and change from now, then say goodbye to this lead. I think that puts us at deadlock.
Yeah, it might just do that, and that's why now ONIC, they need to be a little more cautious on how they approach these fights. Obviously, you can see Super Marco online now on the Claude. You know, the ability to hold on to these Purifies are crucial for Falcons to flip this game over. They've done an amazing job holding on to the 2 base turrets, too, that they had to. Again, even seeing 2 Lords being secured by ONIC. They only lost that 1 base turret they maintain here. Now, they still have some time to go ahead and do something before this next Lord comes up, but that's why ONIC is just kind of playing the patient game.
Yep. ONIC are on Overwatch right now. You make the wrong move, get in range in the wrong spot, and it's over. It's a pickoff, and then next thing you know, Falcons can't even contest, can't even leave their base. So they're sending bodies here to try and confirm a slow push on this tier 1 down bottom. ONIC knows this. ONIC knows this. It's just they don't want to risk it yet because it's so close. So what is this? Ogwin. All right, he holds on to his Purify.
He did get the Thundering Wrath out here, so ultimate use, but again, that's short cooldown up to this point too. Sans will have that back up before they maybe commit to this Lord. A Guardian Helm picked up too by Kyrie again. You know, he hasn't died. He's very elusive. 10-0-2. Picked up the Immortality earlier on the Runaway, but now this Lord is up. Again, forget the gold lead that ONIC has. Falcons can fight this through. Kyle's going to jump forward, just checking out that bush. He sees Kyrie. Oh, so now it's fighting for the space around this Lord here.
Here we go. Some warning shots out of Marco on a Lutfi. Lutfi chunked down about a quarter of his health. Sets up.
Oh, Loopy.
Finds one. Answered by both. A Feather Airstrike gets a both, but Kyle falls first. Golden Hour. In comes the rest of them. Shifting Skies, but look at this from the side. Kelra and Marco dueling guns versus fists. And they are so close to taking down Flap. In comes Kyrie. Flap with the dash and back gets taken down. 2 out of the picture. For Falcons, ONIC can smell blood in the water.
They want to take down the base turrets now. Super Marco had to pop his Win of Nature with the pressure from Kelra onto that fight. So now backs against the wall. They want to stay in this game.
Feather Airstrike. Finally, mid lane inhibitor falls. Circling Eagle by Keyboy. Minutes away. Seconds, possibly from the end. And there's way too many minions. ONIC have delivered sweet revenge. This one's for M5. Sweeping Falcons.
Who would have thought it would have been a sweep for ONIC? But they made it happen. Game 3 took a little bit longer.